A human mechanic sees beauty in two discarded alien women, sparking a cosmic fight for freedom and hope. Welcome to the world of science fiction. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss new stories. Enjoy the listening. Calthor 9 hung like a rusted relic in the void, a space station too far from any star to matter to the galaxy's elite. Its outer hull gleamed with fake polish, a facade for diplomats and traders who never ventured past the upper docks. But in the core, where gravity flickered and air tasted like iron, the station's heart pulsed with desperation. Neon signs buzzed in foggy alleys, and the hum of psychic inhibitors drowned out stray thoughts. This was where the galaxy dumped what it didn't want: scrap, secrets, and souls. Jace trudged through the lower sectors, his boots scraping over warped metal floors. He was a mechanic, or at least that's what his worn jumpsuit claimed. His real skill lay buried deeper, in the way he felt emotions that weren't his, a gift he'd hidden since childhood. He hadn't meant to wander into the bio-auction district today. Maybe it was the ache in his chest, the kind that lingered after fixing a smuggler's engine for half pay. Or maybe it was something else, a faint pull, like a whisper he couldn't ignore. The auction floor was nearly empty when he arrived. The air was thick with the smell of sweat and coolant. Most of the cages were dark, their occupants sold to the highest bidder hours ago. Traders packed up, their voices low and bored. Jace's eyes drifted to the last cage, where a flickering sign read, Lot 472, unsold, disposal scheduled. Inside sat two figures, alien women, their presence so raw it stopped him cold. One was curled in the corner, her skin a soft, glowing blue that pulsed faintly under the dim light. Her white hair fell like frost over her shoulders, and her body seemed to fold inward, as if shielding itself from the world. She didn't move, didn't look up. The other stood in front, tall and lean, her red skin marked with jagged black patterns like charred roots. Her amber eyes burned with defiance, and her braided hair swung like a whip as she shifted, guarding the other. No guards watched them. No one cared. Jace felt their emotions before he saw their faces clearly, a tangle of grief, rage, and something deeper, like a song cut off mid-note. His empathic gift stirred, unbidden, and he winced at the intensity. He stepped closer, hands raised to show he meant no harm. The red-skinned woman's gaze snapped to him, sharp as a blade. "You're late," she said, her voice low and rough, accented with a cadence like wind through dry leaves. The scavengers already left. "I'm not a buyer," Jace said, keeping his tone soft. "I'm just here." Her eyes narrowed. "Then you're lost. Or stupid." He almost smiled. "Maybe both. Why didn't anyone bid?" She gave a bitter laugh. "Her? Too soft." She nodded toward the blue-skinned woman, who hadn't stirred. "Me? Too wild. They want docile or useful. We're neither." Jace glanced at the curled figure. Her emotions brushed his mind, fragile, but not broken. "She's not soft," he said. "She's carrying something heavy." The red-skinned woman stepped closer, her stance like a predator deciding whether to strike. "You talk like you know us." "You don't." "I don't need to," Jace said. "I feel it." Her eyes flickered, catching something in his voice. "You're one of those. An empath. Another human playing savior." "I don't save people," Jace said, meeting her gaze. "I help them. If they want it." She didn't answer, but her posture shifted, less hostile, more curious. The blue-skinned woman stirred, lifting her head just enough to reveal eyes like liquid starlight. Jace's breath caught. Her gaze wasn't empty, it was searching. "I'm Jace," he said, voice barely above a whisper. "I can get you out. There's a maintenance hatch, one level down. No cameras, no guards. I know the way." The red-skinned woman crossed her arms. "Why should we trust you?" "You don't have to," Jace said. "But that cage isn't your home. And disposal isn't your future." Silence hung heavy. Then the blue-skinned woman spoke, her voice faint but clear, like a bell in fog. "I'm Lyra. She's Vey." Vey shot her a look, but Lyra didn't flinch. Jace nodded, committing their names to memory. "Follow me. Or don't." Your choice. They hesitated, then helped Lyra stand. Lyra's movements were shaky, her glow dimming as she rose, but she didn't pull away. Jace led them through a maze of rusted corridors, his senses sharp for any sign of pursuit. The station's hum felt wrong, too quiet, like it was holding its breath. He glanced back. Vay's eyes darted to every shadow, while Lyra's steps were slow but steady, her glow pulsing faintly with each breath. They reached a maintenance hatch, hidden behind a pile of scrap. Jace pried it open, revealing a narrow tunnel lit by flickering conduits. "This leads to my workshop," he said. "Safe, for now." Vay's gaze bored into him. "If this is a trap, human, you'll regret it." Jace met her eyes. "If I wanted to trap you, I'd have left you in that cage." Lyra's hand brushed Vay's arm, a silent plea. Vay exhaled sharply, then nodded. They crawled through the tunnel, the air growing colder, the walls tighter. Jace's workshop was a cluttered den of salvaged tech, wires, tools, and half-built engines scattered across tables. He sealed the hatch behind them and adjusted the air filters, warming the room. Lyra sank onto a crate, her glow steadying. Vay stood guard, her eyes never leaving Jace. "What now, human? You hide us until someone pays more?" "No," Jace said, pulling a nutrient pack from a shelf. "You eat. You rest. Then we figure out what's next." Vay snorted. "You think it's that simple?" "They'll come for us. They always do." "Who's they?" Jace asked, handing her the pack. Vay tore it open, sniffing it cautiously. "Syndicate. Call themselves reclaimers. They strip worlds, take people, call it salvage. We're not just cargo to them. We're data." Jace frowned. "Data?" Lyra's voice was soft, almost a whisper. "Our minds. Our world was alive. We were its voice. They want to use us to rebuild it, or weaponize it." Jace's empathic sense flared, catching a glimpse of their pain, a world of living minds, humming with energy, torn apart by machines. He pushed the feeling down. "You're not tools. You're people. And I'm not letting them have you." Vay's lip curled. "Big words. Let's see if you mean them." Jace didn't answer. He turned to a console, pulling up station schematics. The syndicate was close, he could feel it in the air, a cold pressure at the edge of his mind. But Lyra's glow pulsed brighter, and Vay's defiance burned like a flame. They were alive, and they were here. For now, that was enough. He worked through the night, rigging a psychic dampener from spare parts to mask their presence. Lyra watched, her eyes curious, while Vay paced, her energy crackling. By dawn, the dampener hummed softly, cloaking the room. Jace leaned back, exhausted but steady. Lyra spoke, her voice stronger now. "Why do you care, Jace?" He looked at her, then at Vay. "Because someone saw me once, when I was nothing. I'm just returning the favor." Vay's eyes softened, just for a moment. Then she turned away, hiding it. "Don't get soft on us, human. We're not done running yet." Jace nodded, a faint smile on his lips. "Then let's keep moving." Jace's workshop was a fortress of chaos, a sanctuary carved from Calthar IX's forgotten bones. Tools glinted under flickering lights, and the hum of the psychic dampener Jace had rigged overnight pulsed like a heartbeat. The air smelled of oil and ozone, a sharp contrast to the stale fog of the station's core. Lyra sat on a crate, her blue skin glowing softly, her white hair catching the light like a halo. She watched Jace with quiet curiosity, her starlight eyes tracking his every move. Vay paced near the sealed hatch, her red skin taut with tension, black patterns shifting like embers as she moved. Her amber eyes darted to the shadows, as if expecting them to strike. Jace hunched over a workbench, splicing wires into a salvaged scanner. His jumpsuit was stained with grease, and his empathic gift buzzed at the edges of his mind, catching fragments of Lyra's calm and Vay's restless fire. "This'll warn us if anyone gets too close," he said, not looking up. "Syndicate or otherwise." Vay snorted, her braided hair snapping as she turned. "You think your toys can stop reclaimers?" They hunt through walls, human. Not stop, Jace said, twisting a wire. Slow. That's enough for now. Lyra's voice was soft, barely audible over the dampener's hum. You're not afraid, Jace. Why? He paused, fingers still on the scanner. Her question wasn't just about the syndicate, it was about them, about her and Vey. He felt her emotions brush his mind, fragile but open, like a breeze through cracked glass. I'd been running my whole life, he said. Fear's just noise. You learn to tune it out. Vey stopped pacing, her gaze sharp. Pretty words. Let's see if they hold when they come for us. Jace met her eyes, unflinching. They're not here yet. So let's make sure they don't find us. The scanner chirped, its screen flickering to life. Jace adjusted it, mapping the nearby corridors. A faint signal blinked, too clean, too deliberate. His stomach tightened. Someone's sniffing around. Not close, but they're looking. Vey's hand went to her side, as if reaching for a weapon that wasn't there. Reclaimers tag their prey. Neural echoes, laced in our blood. They'll find us. Lyra's glow dimmed, her hands curling into her lap. They always do. Jace set the scanner down, his mind racing. He'd felt the syndicate's presence in the station's silence, a cold pressure that didn't belong. Not if we mask you better. I can boost the dampener, make it scramble their signal. Vey raised an eyebrow. With what? This junk? Jace grinned, a spark of defiance in his eyes. Junk's my specialty. He moved to a pile of scrap in the corner, pulling out a cracked power cell and a coil of conductive filament. His hands worked fast, muscle memory guiding him as he explained. The dampener's hiding your psychic signatures, but it's not strong enough for neural tags. If I reroute this cell's output through the filament, it'll create a feedback loop. Like static in their ears. Lyra tilted her head, her glow brightening slightly. You build like you feel. Steady, but alive. Jace glanced at her, surprised. Her words hit deeper than he expected, stirring a warmth he hadn't felt in years. Guess I've had a lot of practice. Vey crossed her arms, watching him work. Don't get cocky, human. One wrong move, and we're all dead. Jace didn't answer. He focused on the dampener, soldering the filament to the cell. Sparks flew, and the device whined, then settled into a deeper hum. The air felt heavier, like a blanket over their minds. Jace's empathic gift dulled slightly, but he could still feel Lyra's quiet hope and Vey's guarded trust. Done, he said, wiping sweat from his brow. Should buy us time. Lyra stood, her movements smoother now, and approached the workbench. Her fingers hovered over the dampener, not touching it. It sings, she whispered. Like the vines used to. Jace frowned. Vines? Vey shot Lyra a warning look, but Lyra didn't stop. Our world, Elora. It was alive. Roots connected everything, sang through us. We were its keepers. When they took us, they cut the song. Jace's chest tightened. He felt a flicker of their loss, a world of living light, torn apart by greed. The Reclaimers want that song, don't they? Vey's voice was hard. They want to twist it. Make it a weapon. Our minds are the key. Jace nodded, his jaw set. Then we keep them out of your heads. A sharp beep from the scanner broke the moment. Jace grabbed it, his eyes narrowing at the screen. They're closer. 2 levels up, moving fast. Vey's energy crackled, her black patterns glowing faintly. We fight. No, Jace said, grabbing a satchel and stuffing tools inside. We run. There's a derelict shuttle in the lower docks. I've been fixing it for a smuggler who never paid. It's our way out. Lyra's eyes widened. You'd steal it? Jace smirked. Borrow. He owes me. Vey's lip twitched, almost a smile. You're not as soft as you look. They moved quickly, Jace leading them through a service tunnel that reeked of coolant and rust. The station groaned around them, its walls vibrating with the hum of distant engines. Jace's scanner beeped softly, tracking the syndicate's signal. They were gaining ground, their tech cutting through the station's chaos like a blade. The tunnel opened into a cavernous maintenance bay, littered with broken drones and leaking pipes. Jace pointed to a rusted hatch. "Through there. Stay low." Vey went first, her movements fluid, like a hunter in her element. Lyra followed, her glow dimming to avoid detection. Jace brought up the rear, his empathic sense straining for any sign of pursuit. He felt it before he heard it, a cold, sharp presence, like a needle in his mind. "Reclaimers. Move," he hissed, pushing Lyra forward. They scrambled through the hatch, emerging in a shadowed corridor lined with flickering conduits. Footsteps echoed behind them, heavy and precise. Jace slammed the hatch shut, jamming it with a wrench. "That won't hold long." Vey's eyes glowed, her hands clenching. "Let them come." Lyra grabbed her arm, her voice urgent. "Not here, Vey. We need you alive." Vey's jaw tightened, but she nodded. Jace led them down the corridor, his scanner guiding them through a maze of pipes and vents. The air grew colder, the station's core fading behind them. They reached a sealed bulkhead, its control panel dark. Jace knelt, prying open the panel. "Give me a minute." "We don't have a minute," Vey snapped, her energy spiking. Sparks danced along her fingers, unbidden. Lyra stepped closer, her glow pulsing softly. "Breathe, Vey. Like we used to." Vey glared, but her breathing slowed. Jace worked fast, hot-wiring the panel. The bulkhead groaned open, revealing a docking bay filled with scrapped ships. At the far end sat the shuttle, a dented, patchwork vessel that looked more like scrap than salvation. "That's it?" Vey said, incredulous. Jace grinned. "She's tougher than she looks." They sprinted across the bay, exposed under the harsh lights. The scanner screamed, its signal spiking. Jace glanced back. Shapes moved in the shadows, reclaimers, their armor glinting, weapons raised. "Inside!" Jace yelled, shoving open the shuttle's hatch. Vey pushed Lyra through, then turned, her energy flaring. A pulse of raw power surged from her hands, slamming into the nearest reclaimer. He stumbled, his armor sparking, but others advanced, unfazed. Jace grabbed Vey's arm. "Not now!" She snarled but followed, diving into the shuttle. Jace sealed the hatch, his hands shaking as he rerouted power to the engines. The shuttle groaned, its systems flickering to life. Outside, the reclaimers pounded on the hull, their weapons scorching the metal. Lyra sat in a jump seat, her glow steady despite the chaos. "You can do this, Jace." He nodded, focusing on the controls. The engines roared, and the shuttle lurched forward, scraping against the bay's walls. A reclaimer's weapon breached the hull, sending sparks flying. Vey braced herself, her energy crackling, ready to fight. Jace slammed the throttle, and the shuttle shot into the void, Kelthor 9 shrinking behind them. The scanner showed pursuit ships launching, their signals cold and relentless. Jace's heart pounded, but he felt Lyra's calm and Vey's fire anchoring him. "We're not clear yet," he said, plotting a course into a nearby asteroid field. "But we're alive." Vey leaned back, her breathing heavy. "You're crazier than I thought, human." Lyra's voice was soft, but firm. "He's ours now, Vey. Like we're his." Jace glanced at them, a warmth spreading in his chest. "Let's make sure we stay that way." The shuttle rattled, diving into the asteroids. The reclaimers followed, their ships closing in. Jace's hands danced over the controls, his ingenuity their only shield. Lyra's glow pulsed, her mind reaching out, searching for something beyond the stars. Vey's energy simmered, ready to ignite. They were together, and in that moment, they were unstoppable. The shuttle's interior was a patchwork of exposed wires and flickering panels, its hum a fragile promise of survival. Asteroids loomed outside the viewport, their jagged shapes casting shadows across the cabin. Jace gripped the controls, his knuckles white as he weaved through the field, dodging debris and the reclaimers' pursuit ships. The air was thick with tension, but also something new, a thread of connection weaving between the three souls aboard. Lyra sat strapped into a jump seat, her blue skin glowing faintly, her starlight eyes fixed on the stars beyond. Ve stood braced against a bulkhead, her red skin taut, black patterns pulsing with her restless energy. Her amber gaze darted between Jace and the scanner's blinking warnings. "They're still on us," Ve said, her voice sharp. "Faster ships, better tech. We can't outrun them forever." Jace didn't look back, his focus on the asteroid field. "Don't need forever. Just long enough to lose them." Lyra's voice was soft, almost lost in the engine's drone. "You trust your plan, Jace?" "It's steadying." He glanced at her, catching the faint pulse of her glow. Her emotions brushed his empathic sense, calm, but laced with a fragile hope. "Glad someone's steady," he said, forcing a smile. "Hold on." The shuttle lurched, grazing an asteroid. Sparks flew from a panel, and Jace cursed under his breath, rerouting power. The scanner screamed, showing 2 reclaimer ships closing in, their weapons charging. Ve's energy crackled, sparks dancing along her fingers. "Let me out there. I can take one." "No," Jace snapped. "You're not a weapon, Ve. We do this together." Her eyes blazed, but she didn't argue. Lyra unbuckled her harness, moving to Jace's side despite the shuttle's sway. "Can I help?" Jace hesitated, then nodded. "Keep an eye on the scanner. Call out anything that moves." Lyra's fingers hovered over the screen, her glow brightening as she focused. The cabin felt warmer, her presence like a quiet song easing the chaos. Jace shoved the shuttle behind a massive asteroid, cutting the engines to drift in its shadow. The reclaimer's signals flickered, confused by the debris. For a moment, silence held. Ve broke it, her voice low. "Why didn't you sell us out, human? Back on Calfer 9, you could have walked away. Why risk this?" Jace kept his eyes on the controls, but his voice was steady. "Because I know what it's like to be left behind. No one deserves that." Lyra's glow pulsed, her hand brushing his arm. "You carry pain too. Like us." He stiffened, her touch stirring memories he'd buried a childhood on a rim colony, experiments that left him with an empathic gift he never asked for. He pushed the thought down. "We all do. Question is, what do we do with it?" Ve snorted, but there was no venom in it. "You sound like a preacher." "More like a mechanic," Jace said. "Fix what's broken, keep moving." The scanner beeped, and Lyra's voice tightened. "They're circling back. One ship, close." Jace powered up the engines, the shuttle groaning as it surged forward. The reclaimers fired, a plasma bolt scorching the hull. Ve growled, her energy flaring, but Lyra grabbed her hand. "Breathe, Ve. We're not alone." Ve's sparks faded, her breathing slowing. Jace banked hard, slipping between 2 asteroids. The reclaimer ship followed, but its bulk struggled in the tight space. Jace grinned. Big ships, small brains. He activated a jury-rigged decoy, launching a flare that mimicked the shuttle's signature. The reclaimer took the bait, veering off. The scanner cleared, and Jace exhaled, easing the throttle. "We're clear. For now." Lyra sank back into her seat, her glow dim but steady. Ve slumped against the bulkhead, her eyes on Jace. "You're not bad at this, human." "Name's Jace," he said, glancing back. "And you're welcome." The shuttle drifted into a quieter patch of the field, giving them a moment to breathe. Jace pulled a nutrient pack from a compartment, tossing it to Ve. "Eat. We've got work to do." Ve caught it, tearing it open. "Work?" Jace nodded, moving to a damaged panel. "This bucket's barely holding together. We need to patch it before we hit open space." Lyra stood, her movements smoother now. "I can help. On Elora, I mended roots. This feels similar." Jace raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Roots?" Lyra's eyes softened, her voice carrying a distant melody. "Elora was alive. Its vines sang, connected us all. I was a caretaker, weaving their songs to keep the world whole. When the reclaimers came, they burned the vines. The song stopped. Jace felt her grief, a hollow ache in his chest. You still carry it, don't you? The song. She nodded, her glow pulsing. It's faint, but it's there. Vay's voice was rough, her eyes on the floor. I was a guardian. Meant to protect the vines, the caretakers. I failed. When they attacked, I fought, but it wasn't enough. They took us, tagged us, shipped us off. Jace paused, his empathic sense catching Vay's guilt, sharp as a blade. You didn't fail, Vay. You're here. So's Lyra. That's not nothing. Vay's jaw tightened, but she didn't argue. Lyra moved closer, her hand on Vay's arm. You kept me alive, Vay. That's enough. The cabin fell quiet, the hum of the shuttle wrapping around them. Jace worked on the panel, splicing wires, but his mind was on their words. Elira's loss wasn't just a world, it was a bond, a purpose. He felt a strange kinship, their pain echoing his own. Jace, Lyra said, her voice gentle. Your gift, it's not natural, is it? He froze, the wire in his hand forgotten. Her question cut deep, stirring memories of needles, sterile rooms, and voices calling him a tool. No, he said, his voice low. I was a kid on a rim colony. Syndicate ran experiments, trying to make something. Empaths, maybe weapons. I got out, but it left me with this. Vay's eyes narrowed. Reclaimers? Jace shook his head. Different name, same game. They wanted control. I learned to hide instead. Lyra's glow brightened, her hand hovering near his. You're not hiding now. He looked at her, then at Vay. Their emotions swirled around him, Lyra's hope, Vay's guarded trust. Guess I'm done running, he said. They worked together, Lyra's delicate fingers weaving wires like she once wove vines, Vay's strength holding panels in place. Jace guided them, his ingenuity turning scrap into solutions. The shuttle's hum steadied, its systems stronger. Outside, the asteroid field stretched on, a silent witness to their fragile alliance. Lyra paused, her glow flickering. I feel something. A pull. Like a vine, reaching. Jace frowned. Reclaimers? No, she said, her eyes distant. It's older. A map, in my mind. A place, safe. Vay's head snapped up. Elira's sanctuary? It's a myth, Lyra. A story. Lyra's voice was firm. It's real. I feel it. Jace checked the NAV console, plotting a course. Got coordinates? Lyra closed her eyes, her glow pulsing. Numbers flickered in Jace's mind, clear as a signal. He entered them, the console beeping. It's deep space, near a nebula. Long shot, but worth a try. Vay crossed her arms. Or a trap. Jace met her gaze. Maybe. But sitting here's a bigger one. You in? Vay's lip twitched, almost a smile. Don't have much choice, do I? Lyra's hand found Vay's, then Jace's. We choose this. Together. Jace felt their bond, a pulse of trust stronger than any tech. He nodded, setting the course. The shuttle hummed, carrying them toward the unknown. But the scanner beeped again, softer this time, a new signal at the edge of the field. They're back, Vay said, her energy crackling. Jace's jaw set. Then we move faster. He pushed the throttle, the shuttle diving deeper into the asteroids. Lyra's glow steadied, her mind reaching for the sanctuary's call. Vay braced herself, ready to fight. Jace's hands danced over the controls, his heart pounding but clear. They were bound now, not by chains, but by choice. And in the vast, cold void, that was everything. The shuttle streaked through the asteroid field, its patched hull rattling as it pushed beyond safe limits. Stars blurred outside the viewport, and the faint glow of a distant nebula pulsed like a beacon. Jace's hands gripped the controls, his eyes flicking between the Adve console and the scanner's relentless beeps. The reclaimer's ships were closing in, their sleek, predatory forms weaving through the debris with chilling precision. Inside the cabin, Lyra sat cross-legged on the floor, her blue skin glowing softly, her starlight eyes closed as she traced the sanctuary's call in her mind. They stood at the rear, her red skin taut, black patterns flaring as her energy simmered. Her amber gaze burned into the scanner, tracking their pursuers. "They're gaining," Vey said, her voice tight. 3 ships now. They're not playing anymore. Jace didn't look back, his focus on a narrow gap between 2 spinning asteroids. "Neither are we. Hold on." The shuttle dove, scraping against rock. Sparks flew, and a warning light flashed on the console. Lyra's glow flickered, but her voice stayed steady. "The sanctuary's close, Jace. I feel it stronger now." "Oh, warmth." Jace nodded, entering the coordinates she'd shared. The nebula loomed larger, its colors swirling like a cosmic storm. "If it's real, we'll find it. If it's a trap, we'll deal with it." Vey snorted, her hands clenched. "You're too calm, human. You know what they'll do if they catch us?" Jace's jaw tightened, his empathic sense catching her fear beneath the defiance. "Yeah. That's why they won't." The shuttle shuddered as a plasma bolt grazed its side, scorching the hull. Jace banked hard, diving behind a massive asteroid. The reclaimers followed, their weapons lighting up the void. Vey moved to a side panel, ripping it open. "There's a turret here. Let me use it." Jace hesitated, then nodded. "Don't waste shots. We've got limited power." Vey's eyes gleamed as she powered up the turret, her energy syncing with the weapon's hum. She fired, a burst of energy slicing through the void, clipping a reclaimer ship. It veered off, trailing sparks, but the others pressed closer. Jace's hands danced over the controls, weaving through the field with a precision born of desperation and skill. Lyra opened her eyes, her glow pulsing brighter. "Jace, the map in my mind, it's changing. It's not just a place. It's alive." Jace glanced at her, his heart racing. "Alive how?" "Like Elora," she said, her voice soft but firm. "A consciousness, calling us. It knows we're coming." Vey fired another shot, her voice sharp. "Great. Another thing that wants a piece of us." Jace ignored her, focusing on Lyra. "Can you talk to it? Guide us?" Lyra closed her eyes again, her glow intensifying. The air in the cabin warmed, and Jace felt a hum in his mind, like a distant song. His empathic gift stirred, catching fragments of Lyra's connection, a vast, living presence, warm but wary. The Adve console beeped, adjusting the course slightly, as if guided by an unseen hand. "It's helping us," Lyra whispered. "But it's afraid. The reclaimers, they've been here before." Jace's stomach dropped. "A trap?" Lyra shook her head. "Not from the sanctuary. From them." A reclaimer ship surged forward, its weapons locking on. Jace slammed the throttle, the shuttle groaning as it accelerated toward the nebula. The colors enveloped them, tendrils of gas and light swirling around the viewport. The scanner flickered, the reclaimer's signals distorted by the nebula's interference. Jace exhaled, but the relief was short-lived. A new signal appeared, stronger, colder. "They've got a tracker," Jace said, his voice grim. "Something's locked onto you too." Vey's energy flared, sparks dancing across her skin. "They're neural tags. I told you, they don't let go." Lyra's glow dimmed, her hands trembling. "They'll use us to find it. To break it." Jace's mind raced. He couldn't outrun the tracker, not with their tech. But he could outthink it. He turned to Vey. "Your energy, can you overload a system? Short it out?" Vey's eyes narrowed. "Maybe. But it'll hurt. And I'm not exactly precise." "Do it," Jace said. "I'll handle the rest." They moved to the shuttle's power core, a tangle of wires and glowing conduits. She placed her hands on it, her black patterns glowing as energy surged. The cabin lights flickered, and Jace felt a spike of pain through his empathic sense, Vay's pain, raw and sharp. She gritted her teeth, pushing harder. The core whined, then sparked, sending a pulse through the shuttle's systems. Jace rerouted the surge to the hull, creating a false signal that mimicked their neural tags. The tracker's signal wavered, then locked onto the decoy. The reclaimer ships veered off, chasing the ghost. Jace grinned, despite the strain. Nice work, Vay. She slumped against the core, breathing hard. Don't get used to it. Lyra stood, her glow steady now. We're close. The sanctuary, it's calling louder. The nebula parted, revealing a structure unlike any Jace had seen. It wasn't a station or a ship, but a lattice of glowing vines, pulsing with the same light as Lyra's skin. It floated in the void, alive, its tendrils weaving through the nebula like roots in soil. Jace stared, his empathic sense humming with its presence, a mind, vast and ancient, welcoming but guarded. It's real, Vay said, her voice soft with awe. Jace set the shuttle on approach, but the scanner beeped again. One reclaimer ship hadn't taken the bait. It emerged from the nebula, weapons hot. Jace cursed, banking the shuttle toward the sanctuary. Hold on. The reclaimer fired, a bolt slamming into the shuttle's rear. Alarms blared, and the cabin shook. Vay braced herself, her energy flaring again, but Jace stopped her. Save it. We need you for what's next. Lyra's eyes widened. Next? Jace's voice was steady, despite the chaos. That sanctuary's alive, and it's scared. We're not just hiding there. We're protecting it. They stared at him. You're insane. We're barely alive ourselves. Jace met her gaze. We're alive because we're together. We don't stop now. Lyra's hand found his, her glow warm against his skin. You're right. It needs us. The shuttle docked with the sanctuary, its vines wrapping gently around the hull. The reclaimer ship closed in, its signal cold and relentless. Jace led Lyra and Vay into the sanctuary's core, a chamber of pulsing light and humming vines. The air was warm, alive with a song that resonated in Jace's bones. Lyra's glow synced with it, her eyes bright with recognition. It knows us, she said. It's Elara's last piece. Vay's energy crackled, her voice hard. And the reclaimers want it. They'll burn it like they burned our world. Jace scanned the chamber, his mechanics mind racing. The vines weren't just alive, they were a system, a network. He could work with that. Lyra, can you talk to it? Tell it we're here to help? Lyra nodded, closing her eyes. Her glow spread, merging with the vines. The chamber hummed louder, its light steadying. Jace felt the sanctuary's mind, grateful, but weak. It needed them as much as they needed it. Vay's eyes narrowed. What's the plan, human? Jace grinned, pulling a tool from his belt. We turn this place into a fortress. The reclaimers want a fight? We'll give them one they can't win. They worked fast, Jace rigging the vines with conductive filament from the shuttle, turning them into a defensive grid. Vay channeled her energy into the system, amplifying its power. Lyra wove the sanctuary song, strengthening its resolve. The reclaimer ship docked, its soldiers breaching the outer vines. Jace felt their cold intent through his empathic sense, greed, control, destruction. We can't fight them head-on, Jace said. But we can outsmart them. He led them to a control node, a cluster of vines pulsing with light. Lyra, can you make it hide us? She nodded, her glow merging with the node. The sanctuary's vines shifted, cloaking their presence. The reclaimers stormed in, their scanners blind. Vay's energy flared, ready to strike, but Jace held up a hand. Wait. Let them get close. The soldiers advanced, unaware of the trap. Jace triggered the grid, and the vines surged, entangling the reclaimers in a web of light and energy. Vay unleashed her power, shorting their armor. Lyra's song held the sanctuary steady, its mind trusting them fully now. The reclaimers retreated, their ship damaged. Jace slumped against a vine, exhausted but alive. Lyra's glow softened, her hand on his shoulder. "We did it." Vay's eyes gleamed, a rare smile breaking through. "Not bad, human." Jace looked at the sanctuary, its vines pulsing with life. "This isn't the end. They'll come back." Lyra's voice was firm. "Then we'll be ready. Together." Jace felt their bond, stronger now, a pulse of trust that outshone the stars. The sanctuary hummed around them, a new home, a new fight. They weren't just survivors anymore, they were guardians. The sanctuary pulsed like a living star, its glowing vines weaving through the nebula's misty glow. The air hummed with a song older than the galaxy, a resonance that bound Jace, Lyra, and Vay to the heart of Elara's last remnant. The chamber was warm, its walls alive with light that mirrored Lyra's blue skin. She stood at the center, her starlight eyes closed, her glow syncing with the sanctuary's rhythm. Vay paced nearby, her red skin taut, black patterns flickering as her energy simmered, ready to ignite. Jace worked at a makeshift console of vines and salvaged tech, his hands steady despite the reclaimers' looming threat. The scanner blinked, showing their damaged ship retreating, but a new signal pulsed, larger, colder, a flagship emerging from the nebula's edge. "They're not done," Vay said, her amber eyes narrowing. "That's a command ship. They're all in now." Jace's jaw tightened, his empathic sense catching the reclaimers' intent, ruthless, unyielding. "They want this place. And you too." Lyra opened her eyes, her voice soft but firm. "They can't have it. The sanctuary chose us." Jace glanced at her, feeling the sanctuary's mind through his gift, a vast, weary consciousness, trusting them to protect it. "Then we make a stand. Here." Vay's lip curled, almost a smile. "You're crazier than I thought, human." "Name's Jace," he said, a spark in his eyes. "And we're not losing this." The sanctuary's vines shifted, responding to Lyra's touch. She wove their energy, strengthening the chamber's defenses. Jace rigged the console, linking the vines to the shuttle's remaining power core. Vay channeled her energy into the system, her black patterns glowing as she amplified its strength. The air crackled, the sanctuary humming louder, like a beast waking from sleep. The scanner screamed, the flagship closing in. Its weapons charged, a low hum vibrating through the vines. Jace's mind raced, his mechanics instincts kicking in. "Lyra, can you make the sanctuary hide us again?" She shook her head, her glow steady. "It's too weak. It's been alone too long." Vay's energy flared, sparks dancing. "Then we fight. I can take their systems down." Jace grabbed her arm, his voice sharp. "Not yet. We need you whole." Vay glared but nodded, her sparks fading. Jace turned to the console, rerouting power to the vines. "This place is a network, like a ship's grid. If we overload their sensors, we can blind them." Lyra's eyes widened. "The sanctuary can help. It knows how to sing." Jace nodded, trusting her. "Do it." Lyra closed her eyes, her glow spreading through the vines. The chamber pulsed, a song rising, a deep, resonant hum that shook the air. Jace felt it in his bones, his empathic sense overwhelmed by its power. The sanctuary's mind opened fully, revealing its truth. It wasn't just a refuge, but Elara's last seed, a living archive meant to rebuild a lost world. The flagship fired, a plasma bolt slamming into the sanctuary's outer vines. The chamber shook, but the vines held, their light flaring. Vay growled, her energy surging. "Let me hit them." Jace's hands flew over the console, redirecting the sanctuary's energy. "Wait. We're turning their trap against them." He patched the vines into the flagship's signal, using its own tracking tech to create a feedback loop. The scanner showed the flagship systems faltering, its weapons offline. Jace grinned. "Got you." But the victory was short-lived. The flagship launched drones, their signals cutting through the nebula's interference. They swarmed the sanctuary, their lasers slicing into the vines. Lyra gasped, her glow flickering as the sanctuary's pain echoed in her mind. "It's hurting," she whispered. "We have to stop them." Jace's heart pounded, his empathic sense flooded with the sanctuary's fear. He looked at Lyra and Ve, their faces resolute. "We can't outgun them. But we can outthink them." Ve's eyes gleamed. "What's the play?" Jace pointed to the vines. "This place is alive, and it's connected to you. If we amplify your signals, Lyra's song, your energy, we can overwhelm their drones." Lyra's voice was steady. "It'll drain the sanctuary. It might not survive." Jace met her gaze. "If we don't, none of us will." Ve's lip twitched. "Do it. I'm tired of running." Lyra nodded, her glow brightening. She placed her hands on the central vine, her song rising, merging with the sanctuary's hum. Ve joined her, her energy flowing into the vines, a fiery pulse that made the chamber blaze. Jace worked the console, channeling their power into a single burst. The sanctuary shook, its light blinding. The drones faltered, their systems shorting out as the burst hit. The flagship's signal wavered, its drones falling silent. Jace exhaled, his hands trembling. It worked. But Lyra slumped, her glow dim. Ve caught her, her own energy fading. "Lyra!" Jace rushed to them, his empathic sense catching their exhaustion. "You pushed too hard. Both of you." Lyra's voice was faint. "The sanctuary, it's waking." The vines pulsed, their light steadying. The sanctuary's mind stirred, stronger now, recognizing Lyra and Ve as its heirs. Jace felt its gratitude, a warmth that wrapped around them. But the flagship wasn't done. Its signal stabilized, and a new wave of drones launched. Jace's jaw set. "We're not finished yet." He scanned the chamber, his mechanics mind racing. The vines were more than a network, they were a weapon, if used right. "Lyra, can you make the sanctuary move?" Her eyes widened. "Move? It's a seed, right?" Jace said. "Seeds grow. Can it fly?" Lyra's glow flickered, then steadied. "Maybe. With us." Ve's eyes narrowed. "You're insane." Jace grinned. "Worked so far." Lyra placed her hands on the vines again, her song softer but resolute. Ve joined her, their energies merging. The sanctuary hummed, its vines shifting, coiling like muscles. The nebula swirled outside, the sanctuary moving, pulling free of its moorings. The flagship fired, but the vines deflected the bolts, their light flaring. Jace patched the shuttle's core into the sanctuary, boosting its power. "Hold it together, you two." The sanctuary surged, diving through the nebula. The flagship followed, but the sanctuary's vines lashed out, entangling its hull. Lyra's song grew louder, Ve's energy blazing. The flagship's system sparked, then shut down, its drones drifting lifelessly. The sanctuary slowed, settling in a quiet pocket of the nebula. The chamber was still, the vines glowing softly. Lyra and Ve collapsed, their energy spent. Jace caught them, easing them to the floor. His empathic sense felt their bond, stronger now, unbreakable. "You did it," he said, his voice soft. Lyra's glow pulsed, her hand finding his. "We did it." Ve's eyes gleamed, her voice rough. "Don't get soft, human. We're not done." Jace smiled, feeling the sanctuary's mind wrap around them. It wasn't just a refuge anymore, it was home. "Yeah. We've got a world to rebuild." The sanctuary hummed, its minds weaving new patterns, a promise of growth. Lyra's song lingered, soft and hopeful. Ve's energy simmered, ready for whatever came next. Jace stood between them, his heart steady. They were guardians now, bound by choice, not chains. In the vast cosmos, they'd found something rare, a family, forged in the stars.